Thank you, members, and welcome to the Standards Committee. It's Tuesday, the 17th of March, 2026. First of all, I'll explain why I'm chairing this. I'm the chair of the council, Councillor Leslie Dedman, and in the absence of both the chair and the vice chair, I'm waiting to get the vice chair appointed. So, first of all, can I ask the clerk to read out the housekeeping notices, please?
Thank you, Chair. Please note that this meeting is being recorded by the Council for live broadcast and will be published on the Council website for a minimum of 6 months. The meeting may also be recorded or streamed for live or subsequent broadcast by members of the public, although ultimate discretion in this matter lies with the Chair. For those in the room, please note that if the fire alarm sounds, please exit the building by way of the nearest available signed fire exit route and make your way to the assembly points in the front car park of this building. Finally, please ensure background noise is kept to a minimum. Mobile phones and other devices are turned off or switched to silent for the duration of the meeting. And for those in the room, this includes turning off microphones and turning down the volume on your laptop completely. Thank you.
Right, thank you very much, Louise. Right, welcome everybody to the meeting, and can I also welcome the independent persons who are present remotely. So nice to see you, thank you. So first of all, the agenda. Item 1, apologies. Louise, do we have apologies for this meeting?
Yes, Chair, we've received apologies from Councillor Vanessa Ricketts.
Thank you. Item 2, substitute members. Do we have any substitutes?
There are no substitutes, Chair.
Okay, moving on to agenda item 3, election of the vice chair. Now, it's my task to ask nominations from the floor for the election of the vice chair. Obviously, a nomination will need to be seconded. Do I have any nominations, please? Thank you, Councillor. Sorry, do you have a seconder?
I believe I do, yeah.
Thank you, George. Any more nominations? I think that was long enough to ask. Thank you very much. Right, so members, I think we vote on this. Do we agree with the election of the vice chair? Oh, I'm not supposed to vote, so I won't vote, obviously. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, can I ask you now then, Vice Chairman, to come up here and I will hand over to you.
Does help if I get the buttons right. That's a really good start. Thank you to Councillor Dedman for that. So we have done declarations of interest. So do any committee members have any declarations of interest for today? No, that was quite quick then. And agenda item 5, is there a proposer and a seconder to confirm the minutes of the meeting on the 7th of October 2025? Proposer, thank you. Thank you. Okay, so are all members happy to agree those? Okay, thank you very much. And that leads us on to public issues. So I believe we've got a few questions that have been submitted for today. So Mr. McKinstry, you've got a few questions for us today.
Thank you very much indeed, Vice Chair, and congratulations on your incumbency. Can you hear me okay? Okay, first two questions relate to item 8, which is the Code of Conduct Complaints update. Question 1. The report for item 8 is described in the agenda as an update on complaints received or concluded since the last report to the committee in October 2025. However, it appears that 15 complaints have been excluded from tonight's roundup. This is apparent from gaps in the numerical sequence. There's no sign of complaints BCP 230 to 232 or 238 to 249, all inclusive. And none of those were included in October's report, which stopped at BCP 229. Why the apparent omissions?
Thank you very much for your question, then, Mr. McKinstry. I have a response for you, and thank you very much for those questions. There has been a little confusion with the schedule there, so our apologies for that. I'll deal with them in numerical order just for the ease of reference. So complaints BCP 230, 231, 232 and 238 failed to provide any supporting evidence or insufficient evidence to support their complaint and to link to any allegations to an elected councillor. An invitation for additional evidence was requested, but this hasn't been forthcoming. None of these complaints progressed beyond the initial pre-registration stage, and the complainants were advised accordingly. Complaint BCP 239 was registered and assigned a reference number. However, upon initial review, it was determined to be out of scope as the issues raised did not relate to potential breaches of the Code of Conduct. The complainant was also informed. Complaint BCP 240 was assigned a reference number following the receipt of email communication. However, the complainant was asked to supply additional details required to commence the complaint, and no additional information has been forthcoming. Complaint references BCP 241 to 249 have not been assigned to any complaints for administrative reasons to avoid the allocation of duplicated numbers.
Okay, second question. If complaints have been excluded from tonight's report, have any committee members seen anything of these omitted complaints in any way, shape or form? And if so, what precisely will they have seen? Would they have been shown a summary of the allegations in each complaint, along with the reasons for dismissal, or a sample of the excluded complaints, or what exactly?
Thank you again. As detailed in response to the previous question, none of the omitted reference complaints were complete and have therefore not progressed beyond the preliminary registration stage. Members of the Standards Committee have therefore not seen any of these complaints.
Okay, and the final question relates to item 9, which is the work plan and schedule of meetings. This committee voted for a review of the Code of Conduct complaints procedure on the 8th of July 2025. On the 7th of October 2025, the chair said she'd asked for this review to be expedited, as we have been promised it for quite some time, and it is indeed listed as a priority item for January 2026 on tonight's work plan. The January 2026 meeting was, of course, cancelled. Why has the review not been presented to tonight's meeting, therefore? And if the problem is one of resource, how many man-hours would it take roughly to complete the review, given that the committee only made 2 suggestions for this review in the related meetings? And those suggestions were naming errant councillors and stopping the closure of complaints by officers where non-compliance arises.
The delay in presenting the review is primarily due to resource and capacity constraints experienced during the interim monitoring officer period, which necessitated the prioritisation of critical activities. Nonetheless, committee members are scheduled to meet informally to consider the current arrangements with a view to informing a thorough and comprehensive revision of the procedure. For clarity, this review will not be confined solely to these 2 issues previously raised, but will instead evaluate the complaints procedure in its entirety. Dates are scheduled to commence the review and will be brought back to a future meeting.
Okay, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much for your questions. So that moves us on. Oh, apologies.
Chair, Vice Chair. Can I ask that the committee clerk circulates the questions and the answers to all committee members in due course, please? Thank you.
Yeah, that's great. That's fine. Thank you very much, Councillor Andrews. That moves us on to items of business. So agenda item 7 was dispensations granted by the monitoring officer. So those have been included in a report. So hopefully everybody has had a chance to see the report. Does anybody have any questions or comments on the dispensations granted? No, in which case are we happy to note the dispensations granted by the monitoring officer for the time period 1st of September 25 to the 6th of March 26? Do I have any dissension to that? No? Okay, thank you very much. In which case that moves us on. I do realise, and I apologise to our independent persons, that I haven't looked on my screen, and I can see that Mr. Sibley, I believe you have your hand raised.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I wonder if I could just make a statement, please, on behalf of the two of us. I am appointed as one of the 2 independent persons to oversee the working of the BCP Standards Committee on behalf of the residents of BCP, and I make the following statement on behalf of both of us. There have recently been somewhat adverse comments within the local and national press criticising the manner of working of the Standards Committee. I can assure the residents that firstly, the committee made up of councillors from across the BCP Council is completely apolitical within the committee meetings, and any political views are left outside the meeting's doors. Secondly, any sanctions available to the committee in the event that a conduct breach has been recognised are limited by parliamentary legislation. Thirdly, at the conclusion of any committee debate, the committee chair consistently invites the views of the independent persons as to the validity or otherwise of the process adopted before a decision is reached by the councillors present. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Sibley. I very much appreciate that statement, and hopefully that's echoed by everybody here. In which case, I will move on to agenda item 8, which is Code of Conduct Complaints and Update. So this report provides members of the Standards Committee with an update on complaints regarding alleged breaches of the Code of Conduct against councillors received or concluded since the last report to the committee in October 2025. The committee is responsible for maintaining high standards of conduct by members of BCP Council and the town and parish councils, monitoring the operation of the Code of Conduct, and considering the outcome of commissioned independent investigations. Deputy Monitoring Officer, are you able to introduce the report, please?
Thank you, Chair. So again, this is the standard report that you receive at each meeting. For those who are new to the committee, we add a schedule. We maintain the schedule of complaints on the report. We remove those that have been completed previously, provide an update for those that are pending. But the report is for information. We don't disclose the details of individual councillors or the names of complainants unless they waive their rights to that anonymity. So the report is for information. Can I just clarify one point in relation to because I appreciate the answer was given. Mr. McKinstry, you looked a little bit confused in relation to the numbers that were missed out. So I appreciate the numbers that we didn't assign, just for clarity. They weren't assigned. So we had a change of staffing areas and it was unclear whether those numbers had been previously assigned. And therefore we jumped to the next number to 250. So apologies, that perhaps wasn't quite so clear in the answer, but I hope that provides clarity. Happy to answer any questions, though, Chairman.
Thank you very much. Opening up to members. Are there any questions? Councillor Andrews, thank you.
Thank you. I'm a new member or rejoined member, so I'm sort of a little bit out of the loop of all these outstanding complaints or pending complaints, and I think Councillor Chick is as well. I suppose the question is, and of course, you know, we can't go into detail, but I know when I was on Standards Committee for the initial 4 years of BCP, there were an awful lot of councillors who, I suppose, prevaricated, filibustered or whatever in terms of responding for further information and clarification and even, you know, offering an apology. You know, are we having still that same situation, or is it better than it was? Mr. Jones, through you, Madam Chair.
through you, Chair, and maybe the members might have a different view. I think it has improved. I think you'll look at the date of the oldest complaint on the list, and it certainly isn't as long as it has previously been reported on. It's not a quick process, though. I think we need to be realistic. Management on and consideration of code of conduct complaints is not a quick process. But I think in terms of the measures that we put in place, we now record on this schedule, just for clarity, we record the date that it's been received, the date that it's closed. We do now identify those allegations that have been upheld when we've closed a complaint. And I think we now have a better process in terms of escalating complaints that are not adhered to in that first round. There is more to do, hence the review of the complaints process, which we are to start soon. I think in short, yes, it's better than it was, but it could still be better.
Thank you very much. Any other questions in relation to the outstanding complaints or closed complaints since the last meeting?
More about
The review. We're going to look at the work plan next, so if you hold on to that just for a couple of moments. Any other comments in relation to the outstanding complaints? No? Okay, thank you very much. In which case I will move on then to the work plan. Are there any updates to the published work plan?
Thank you, Chair. Through yourself and members, the timeline has been extended, and I think, as has been shared, that is mainly due to resourcing and operational needs. It's not a phrase I like to use, and I don't like delay, but certainly it's unavoidable. We're still in an interim stage of this position, hopefully to be filled permanently in the next few weeks, if not months, or hopefully not much longer than that. So there is a slight delay. With regard to the review, as you will recall, I came to committee in a closed consultation session with some advice, and that's not advice I would share publicly because it remains legal advice, but it was advice to extend that review and to obtain some more detailed guidance and advice to update the standards process. That's not to suggest it's unlawful or there are significant problems, but I identified certain areas I think we could improve on that would assist members and hopefully make it more efficient in the long run. So if we were to go into the detail of that, we'd have to go into an exempt session at this time, but the plan is to come back to you at a closed session shortly anyway to give you a more broader update.
Thank you very much. Are there any other questions in relation to the upcoming work plan? Councillor Andrews.
Thank you. Alluding to the local government review, obviously there are going to be 3 more councils, parish council, town councils created, and BCP actually does the complaints procedure for the existing parish and town councils. Obviously, there will be, well, hopefully not drastically more work to deal with. But one way to potentially avoid that, and I'm sure the respective town clerks, or the 3 town clerks will be or are on the case, is obviously training of the new councillors. And is that something that BCP, admittedly for a fee, can provide to the new town councils?
I will respectfully defer.
Thank you, Chair. Through you. Absolutely. I don't think we would charge. I think it's value for money to try and head those sorts of issues off and get in early in terms of code of conduct related matters. So I am in dialogue with the 3 recruited town clerks. I can't confirm the details of those yet for you, but we will certainly be doing an induction. They wish to carry out an induction program for their new councils, and we will certainly be involved in that process, and probably the Dorset Association of Parish and Town Councils as well. We would probably seek to expand that as well to the existing town and parish councils as a bit of a refresher.
Yes, please, Councillor Wright.
So the clerks that are prospectively or are already employed are going to tell the new councillors what they need to do. Is that what you're saying? Is that the tail wagging the dog, or is that what you just said?
No, not what I said. I think I said the new clerks are keen to carry out an induction programme. If I didn't say that clearly, they wish to carry out an induction programme for councillors on a range of topics, whether that's around local government operations, whether it's financial regulations, including the code of conduct. All members must sign up to the code of conduct or a code of conduct. And it's the monitoring officer's role and yours to promote good ethical behaviours. And so we will be part of that induction programme on that particular issue in relation to code of conduct. They are intending at this stage to, in fact, there will be, Paul's has already been published, the Shadow Council, to adopt the model code, so it will mirror the BCP codes. That way we can administer those in a more efficient manner.
Does that help answer your question, Councillor Wright?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I was also looking at the work plan as well, and we've got a review of the councillors' induction programme. I wonder if perhaps we could use this as an opportunity to kind of refresh and review and combine our work plan with the upcoming inductions, whether that be by way of asking those who go through the induction to provide feedback, or whether there's an opportunity there to adapt things in advance of that. I wonder what your thoughts are.
Certainly, I think that induction is ready for the 2027 induction programme. We can certainly work with I'm not intending to run the entire induction programme for the parish and town council, the new town councils, just to be clear, but we can certainly take any lessons learned through that process and liaison with the new clerks.
Wonderful, thank you very much. Are there any other questions with regards to agenda item 9 even, the work plan?
Yep.
Yep, thank you, Councillor Wright.
Is there, with the review of, is there any physical meetings that are going to be in the work plan that we're going to meet like this and go through? I couldn't actually see anything.
I think in the interim, we have a couple of informal meetings that will be scheduled. And I think in the first instance, we'll want to review the material and take some time to digest it. And then from there, it will be scheduled onwards.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. In which case, unless there are any further questions, I would like to thank everybody for their attendance. Thank you for those joining us on YouTube and for our independent persons. And before I do close, I have failed to look again, and I do apologise, Mr. Sibley. I will get better at this.
No, it's only just to reassure the committee that the independent persons will be involved with the monitoring officer in those preliminary discussions.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Okay, in which case, thank you everybody for your engagement tonight, and that's the meeting closed. Thank you.